If you were to tell me that there were more than 10 crimes committed by ghosts, I would have called you a liar, but I would have been dead wrong. Last week we brought you a list of ghost crimes that were so shocking, a ton of people came in to watch, and now guess what? I've got a whole other list of ghoulish crimes for you. Hello again, Most Amazing Top 10 family. I'm your host, Jay Arena, and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Today we are doing a double take at the laws that were broken by ghosts, much less friendly than Casper, with today's list of top 10 crimes that were committed by ghosts part 2. If any of you at home want some more Most Amazing Top 10 content, you should check us out on Instagram and Facebook, and stick around until the end of the list because I'm going to be answering some questions from my Instagram inbox. If you want me to answer your question, you can hit me up through the gram. Without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10, we have The Breath. I snagged a story online about a man who was living alone, and he said he would be woken up occasionally by the feeling of someone breathing on his neck. I can't think of a worse way to wake up in the morning. The hot touch of a stranger's breath reaching out and enveloping the back of your neck, that sounds like a hellscape that I don't want to deal with. But on the bright side, if you woke up like that, it wouldn't be hard to pop out of bed and rush out the door in the morning. You would never be late for work. Well, this person said that this would happen to them all the time, and it was for sure a ghost. Now, I don't know what crime that is exactly, but I'm sure it's a crime. There's no way that coming into someone's home when you're not invited and then breathing on them while they sleep is legal. And if that is legal, someone needs to change that law right now. Coming in at number 9, we have How Do I Smell? Similar to the last point, but a little more perverted. This one was thrown up on Reddit, and it is a story about a ghost who liked to cross a person's boundaries in one of the creepiest ways. Now, this was on Reddit, so it can be hard to tell if this story is true or if it was just someone trying to get a laugh, but I enjoyed reading this one, so I thought I should slide it right in. Apparently, this ghost would follow them around their house and smell them. This person could hear the noise of someone breathing in through their nose sharply, and then they would turn to see who was there, and there would never be anyone there. Now, why would a ghost want to do something like that to someone? I don't know. I'm not a ghost. My best guess is that our spectral friend just wanted to know what a real person smells like. Maybe we smell good, and everyone in the afterlife smells like an old sock that has been under your bed since you bought it. Again, I don't know what crime this is, but I'm sure in my heart that it is a crime to follow someone around and smell them all day long. Coming in at number 8, we have Don't Break My Stuff. A woman on Reddit wrote about how for weeks she was coming home to find broken items in her home. At first she thought it was probably herself. Maybe she was sleepwalking, or maybe she was breaking stuff and forgetting about it, like her mind was slipping away, which is a very scary thing to think about. But she thought there was one more thing she should check before she blamed it on the brain, and it was whether or not ghosts were up to something strange. She had a priest come in and bless the home, and the next thing you know, everything went back to normal. Coming in at number 7, we have No Biting. No biting is one of the basic rules that everyone has to follow in a fight. Well, when it comes to ghosts, that is not the case. There are countless stories of hauntings online about a ghost that will be pestering someone. Usually in small ways, maybe they will turn on the taps or maybe they'll break some dishes, but then eventually everything starts to get much worse. The ghost will get physical with the person, and this almost always leads to the person in question being bitten in their sleep by the ghost. Waking up with a spectral bite mark sounds like one of the most terrifying things that could happen to you, but at the same time, if you're in a fight with me and you bite me, I have zero respect for you and all rules are off. I'm going to find your soul, I'm going to have a priest lock away your angry spirit into some crappy piece of furniture so you can't escape, you can't bite people, and you can't move on to the afterlife. Coming in at number 6, we have Theft. That's an awkward call to make to the police, like, hello officer, my home was broken into by a ghost. Yes, I can hold. Here's another one from the deep dark corners of the internet. Apparently someone was having so much stuff go missing in their home that they set up some security cameras to see what was going on. They were convinced that someone must be coming into their home, but after they got the locks changed and it kept happening, they got a little bit more afraid. So with the help of modern science, they saw how items from their home would fly off shelving and then disappear into thin air. Now, was this all committed by a ghost, or was someone from another dimension trying to do a little redecorating in their own home, and they wanted to take things from yours because they love the aesthetic of your home, which is kind of a compliment. Coming in at number 5, we have Kidnapping. Once again, a very strange story where the person in question might have been suffering from some sort of psychosis, but they claim that this all happened because of some sort of ghostly encounter. This person kept waking up in a fugue state and not knowing what happened to them. They claimed that it was a ghost who was taking control of their body and then trying to kidnap them. Every every time this would happen, they would have a dream of a masked man shoving them into a trunk and then leaving them there. They think that whoever was behind the mask could have been the one who was taking control of their body. Now, what this might have been is someone having a psychotic break and not knowing how to deal with the reality of it, but it might have also been a ghost using their body as a Volkswagen Jetta. Coming at number 4, we have That's Not Mine. On a Reddit forum asking police what were some of the wildest offenses they have ever heard, one cop wrote about a time he was searching a man and he found a bag of cocaine in his pocket. Now, when something like this happens to someone, they have to think fast. You don't want to tell them that it's yours because then you're going to be going to jail for a long time. So this person caught red-handed decided that they would say that this was all the work of a ghost, that something supernatural had put the drugs into their pocket and he had no idea how they got there. I have to say that's a pretty cool ghost to have your back like that. Coming in at number 3, we have domestic abuse. Now, the person who committed this crime claims that this was a ghost, but I think it's pretty safe to say that this person is just an asshole and should be locked up for a long time. This story comes from the United States and it ties in with Michael West. One day, Michael's wife called the police claiming that her husband had been beating her. The police rushed over, and when they got there, it was very clear that the woman had just been attacked. The police separated the two to make sure that they could get the actual truth out of both of them, and Michael thought the best course of action to cover up his unforgivable behavior was to come up with one of the dumbest lies I have ever heard of. He claimed that a ghost beat up his wife. Yeah, dude, you're not only a horrible person, but you are also insanely dumb. Michael West was promptly arrested and taken to jail. Coming in at number 2, we have A Demon Made Me Do It. At a brutal crime scene, the body of Angie Escobar was discovered. The police were shocked to find the body of a young girl who had been stabbed almost 100 times. It didn't take long, but eventually they were able to pinpoint the crime on Angie's former boyfriend, who killed the poor girl when she tried to break up with him. When this was all brought to trial, Angie's former boyfriend used demonic possession as his defense, saying that a demon took control of his body at the time of the murder and that he was not in control of himself. Coming in at the number 1 spot, we have Murder Via App. Okay, this one is absolutely wild. It's the story of Jason Brian Dalton. This is a story that was making headlines just a little while ago. Jason was an Uber driver, and it seemed like he was a regular dude. I mean, everyone has their problems, but I don't think anyone in the world thought that Jason would ever do something like this. One day, Jason just snapped. He stopped driving Uber and then suddenly killed 6 people. Now, the only reason that I mentioned the fact that he was driving Uber is that he claims the reason he killed the people he killed has nothing to do with bloodlust or a hate for humanity or human life or anything like that. He said that through his Uber app, a ghost possessed him and caused him to go on a rampage. That is terrifying and makes you second guess getting into an Uber. Alright everyone, that has been the list. Now I'm going to be reading out some questions from the Instagram inbox. 1400 Slat wrote in and asked, do you still like the SCP Foundation or are you bored of it? Now I still like it because there's still so much I don't know about it. Also, it made a video game for me recently much more entertaining because it had a lot of similarities with the SCP Foundation. If you have played the game Control, there's a lot in the game in terms of lore and storytelling that is very similar to the SCP Foundation. Maxwell wrote in and asked, who's your Overwatch main? Now I try to bounce around a lot because I don't want to be a one-trick pony and you need to be able to shift spots in order to get the win, but my mains are definitely all tanks. I think I'm best with D.Va. I love how you get a second shot at life with her and how high her mobility is. Also, Baby D.Va does a ton of damage, but I have been playing a lot of Wrecking Ball recently. I love how much distress you can cause and how fast you can build up your ultimate if you're really good at locking down those slams. And finally, Todoroki910 wrote in and asked, what's the favorite part of your childhood? I mean, it's hard for me to pick, but one moment sticks out. When I was like 6 years old, I started collecting all the cans and bottles that my family used to return them to the bottle depot to save money. I was saving money so I could buy a Nintendo 64 on Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas in Canada. For those of you who don't know, everything goes on sale that day. It was a cute little idea I came up with so I could get a gaming system because my parents weren't super keen on the idea of me getting one. Well, on Christmas, my parents surprised me by getting me a Nintendo 64, and I was so shocked I had no idea I was going to get that. And it was with Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and Mario Kart. That was a great day. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Chaytorena, and watch out for those ghosts, because they're committing crimes. Bye. But I think it's pretty safe to say that this person is just a piece of shit. Maybe I shouldn't say piece of shit. Okay, I'll say ass. Until next time, I've been your host, Chaytorena, and what was this? Crimes committed by ghosts.